Okay, suppose you want to produce your t-shirt and you know that it will cost you $700 to produce 100 t-shirts, but it's going to cost you $1,120 to produce 200 t-shirts. Notice that if you double the amount of t-shirts, you do not double the cost. Why? Because this is not a directly proportional situation because we have an initial cost, right? So the first part is that we are going to find a linear function or linear equation to describe this. Now, let's get to work. Remember, whenever we have the cost, money, and the items, we want to find out the cost per item, right? So in that case, this right here will be the y, the cost is the y, and the t-shirt right here is the x. So for the first one right here, I will write down for 100 t-shirts, we know it will cost us $700. So here is x1 and this is y1. And then for the second one, we know that this right here is the cost, so that will be the y, and this is the number of t-shirts, which is 200, that's the x. And then this is 1,120. So again, this right here, it will be the x, which is x2, and this is y2. All right, remember to write a linear equation, we always have to find the slope first. So let's get to work right here. The slope is m, and that's equal to the following. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, yeah? And then throwing the numbers. Well, here we have y2, which is this, namely 1,120, and then minus y1, which is 700. So go ahead and write that down. And then x2 is 200, x1 is 100. So just write that down. Now, of course, we are going to subtract that. Here on the top, we get 420. On the bottom, this right here is just 100. And again, because we're talking about money, when we divide, let's use decimal for this. 420 divided by 100, we will end up with 4.2, namely $4.20. So that's what we have for the slope. We are not done yet though, because we have to use the point slope form of the line. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And again, get to work. Y is y minus y1. We'll use 700 for that. Right? So again, this is just the y1 value. And then the m is 4.2. So I'll just put down 4.2. And this is x minus x1, which is 100. So again, just write that down. Okay. Now, of course, do the usual thing. Right here, distribute. And then we will have this. Y minus 700, this is equal to, this times this, 4.2x. This times this is minus 420. And then lastly, we'll just have to add the 700 on both sides so that this and that will be cancelled. Add 700 on both sides. And finally, we see that y is by itself now. And we have, this is 4.2x. And when we add this, we end up with 280. So we put a plus 280 like this. So here is the linear equation that we have. Okay. And also we have to talk about the slope. What does the slope represent? Well, the slope is right here. And we know that, let me just write this down. M is 4.2. But because we're talking about money, so let's put down 4.20. And this is the price. And remember, the slope represents the rate of change. And we are talking about t-shirts. This right here is $4.20 per t-shirt. It will cost you $420 per t-shirt if you want to produce that. Right? This right here is the cost. And how about the 280? Well, remember, the y-intercept is always the initial amount. And in this context, of course, we're talking about the initial cost. So the y-intercept, which is going to be 280, and I'll just tell you, this right here is the initial cost. So it's just like if you want to produce your own t-shirt, you have to buy the machines, right? So that's the initial cost for that. So that's it. For the second part though, how much does it cost to produce a total of 300 t-shirts? Well, again, the number of t-shirts is x. So in this case, we'll just say y is equal to x is 300. So we have 4.2 times 300. Again, the x right, represents the number of t-shirts, and then the price is the y, okay? Anyway, and then we just go ahead and continue. We add 280, and then just work this out. Y equals this times this. We will get 1260, and then plus 280, and then of course add this up. Y is equal to 1540. So that's pretty much it. And finally, this right here, remember, is the cost. So I will just write down, it will cost us $1,540 for this right here. So that's it, right? So these questions are not so bad if you can break down what exactly we need, and then make sure that whenever we are talking about the cost, we want to talk about the cost per item. That's why the cost is actually the y, like the price is the y, and then the number of t-shirts is the x. So be sure you kind of just put it down in the right place. Anyway, this right here is it.